Okay, you will want to adjust the volume on this if you haven't already. And you can see, of course, a inspirational picture of Cardinal Buddy at the Grand Tetons. I'm going to open up this file that I sent you, the PDF, and take a few minutes and explain to you what's going on. So I'm going to size this jewel up, and hopefully we'll be good to go here. Okay, the first part of it here, and let's see, I may want to go back that, I'm going to zoom that in a little bit better. Give you an abstract which gives you a fairly concise overview of what's in the file, what it's all about. And I want to move this over here if I can, so I can take just a couple of minutes. Again, not to belabor it, but basically what I've got for you here is right now looks like a jumbled mess. I'm going to take this back down. What I've sent you a series of screenshots. The first two are the new members distributed geographically by zip code, 2009 versus 2014. So the new members in that year, 2009, the new members in 2014. Then what I've done is for 2000, then for both years, I've gone over to ESRI Tapestry. I've entered the zip code and I've gotten some data that show you what they call the lifestyle segmentation. So I'm going to scroll through here. Here's an introductory chart that will tell you, will compare the 2 years in terms of I'll back this down a little bit. That's better. It compares the 2 years in terms of their new members by zip code. And you'll notice a couple of things here. This first thing, the yellow column, the yellow rows, that's where the same zip code showed up twice. And then also you'll see I have bold here these up and coming families. These are tapestry segmentation lifestyles, and you'll want to look at that, and you'll see them when you go over there. And these up and coming families have shown up both years in both years in one, two, three different zip codes. So that's something for you to take a look at. The whole idea of this is to see the geographic distribution. That's obvious. What's maybe not so obvious, but what is perhaps more important, is simply looking at the tapestry data. And when you go over to ESRI Tapestry and you put in a zip code, you can look at that and get lifestyle segmentation data. Who are these people that live here? What kinds of things they buy? What's important to them, etc. You can also get age, income, and population density. So this is a very rich series of things that you can do. Well, as I mentioned, here is the here's the file. This is from Batch Geo. I took all your new member data and put them in. This shows you, as you can see, the growth in 2009, primarily centered around the church, as you would expect. But also notice there's a pretty significant swath of growth down at the bottom there. That's down south, down in Norman. Here's 2014, and you can see that that's really consolidated, that growth in Norman especially. And you can see some additional growth along the east. But if you look at that there in Norman, you really see it coalescing along I-35. That's something for you to take a look at. Here are some data on the zip codes and the cut points and why, and explains why I used the cut points I did, accounting for 60% of the total. And that you'll see a footnote there. This is what I was talking about, Doug. When you go over, for example, 73160, here's Tapestry. It shows you a picture of that zip code, and then it gives you a little blurb on each of these of the large lifestyle or lifestyle segmentation groups within that zip code. For example, here's one on Middleburg. You'll want to go in and take a look at those because it tells you who are the people coming, where are these new people who are coming to our church, people who are joining our church. Who are they? What are they about? What are they? And now, ESRI Tapestry charges an enormous amount of money to get you all the really detailed stuff, what they've bought in the last year, all that kind of. But that data's out there. It's part of what you hear about this thing about big data. Well, anyway, here's for 73160, and I'll scroll and you can see another. This is for another of the market segments within 7360. These are the home improvement group. segment, and then there's the third segment in 7360. That's the up and coming families. That's the one I mentioned to you that's shown up in 3 different zip codes. You definitely want to take a look at that, because these segmentation blurbs tell you a lot about services that we might offer, or programming you might offer, messaging. You can take it and go from there. I'm not a marketer, but I certainly understand strategically how valuable this information is for the church, and should be. Here's another of the segments. This is 2009, and I took the top 4 zip codes growth for 2009 versus 2014, and that's that summary file again. You saw it here. Again, here is Tapestry, and this is zip code 73170, and that shows you the Social Moms, which is one of these groups that's there in that 73170. Now, if you go online, of course, this is a static PDF. You can go online and enter these zip codes, and you can really do the dynamic tapestry and filtering drill downs using lifestyle, age, income, population density. It's granted, it will not give you this specific level of detail like census block data, but for free, this is an outstanding tool, a wonderful, wonderful tool to use. And again, not to belabor this, but here it is for 73170. Here are the up and coming families. I'd mentioned those before. Here's another interesting of the up and coming families. Again, this is in 73135. We're doing some things at the church that are bringing this segment of people in, and we need to take a good hard look at it. Anyway, that's pretty much it, Doug. I've got some more data. Here's some of the interesting data on the folks down in Norman. You can see here's like Thunderbird, and this is the college town. And again, what's interesting is you saw that growth is coalescing around the I-35 corridor. And we are starting to draw some students out. We're starting to draw some members out of the Norman area. There's some room for growth. And again, if you look at those first 2 screenshots, it shows you our growth patterns have been to the east and to the south. Norman offers a great opportunity for the church. And because we're out of the interstate, we're not perceived as that big of a drive, really, because we're just a hop up the interstate and around. And I think this is something that maybe folks will want to talk about. Well, that'll pretty much do it. Again, not to belabor this or to give a pass, this is all I'm going to do. I think I've given you enough information, enough impetus to know where you can go with this and do with it. I'll probably run something on the entire membership just to show you the geographic distribution of them. Then you can play with this as you wish. But I really think for free, again, this costs you nothing. These resources, the ability to map these zip codes, and I think more importantly, this tapestry data is just such a wonderful resource. Really gives you some insights that you'd have to pay a lot of money to get anywhere else. And thank goodness the people at ESRI are fantastic people, good folks. Well, that's it. Thank you much, and I'm going to stop the recording now. And hopefully this was again. This will be some help to you. And as I mentioned in the email I sent, the first email, I promised you I'd send you a screencast recording or something to explain this. This will, with this, I don't think you and I need to meet. This is pretty self-explanatory, and I think you can take it and run with it if you choose to do what you want. As I mentioned in the document, it's a labor of love on my part. That's pretty much it. I'm just putting it there for data for people to look at. That's it, period. I don't really have the time or energy to invest in a whole lot more work. I'll do the church populations, but that's pretty much it. Okay, thanks a lot and have a good one.